Welcome back to Surviving and Thriving, where we share with you the things that we have learned as we have transitioned our family from struggling to survive disease to thriving right smack dab in the midst of it, in the hopes that something that we share with you will help you, enlighten you, and encourage you as you transition your family from struggling to survive disease to thriving right smack dab in the midst of it. The purpose of doing these videos, the purpose of Surviving and Thriving, is to share the things that I've learned, the way that I've and my family have dealt with things, how we've overcome things, the challenges that we've gone through. Not necessarily to tell you that this is the way to do it, follow our path, because every family is different. Every family has its own dynamics, its own personalities, and its own pathway. And you need to do what's best for you and your family. So I'm not doing this to tell you to be like me, but I am doing this because many times we went through a lot, you guys, and it was waiting, and I had no one to tell me, is this how this is supposed to go? How do you navigate through these different things that we were experiencing? There was no blueprint. And I didn't have people around me who had been through things and overcame things that could share what they had gone through or what they had learned. And there are people who have gone through some things and people didn't, make it past their things, or they did for whatever period of time. But a lot of people never shared what they learned or how they went through it. And so I wanted a blueprint for myself, and I didn't have it. And so I share with you all so that other people who are going through can have something to look at, to maybe perhaps glean from, to see what we've gone through, and if there's anything in our experience that may be able to help them, whether it's just to comfort them, to let them know that this is normal, or even to give them some kind of an idea of something that they can do in their life, what may work for them, what may not work for them, to share the wisdom I learned in the things that me and my family have done, so that other people going through just won't feel alone, and they can have a little bit of insight, a little bit of understanding, in the hopes that it will help them to overcome, to navigate through a whole lot more easier, so that sort of a clear pathway for other people, right? I can't take away all that you're going to have to go through. You're going to have to go through it yourself, but maybe I can help you to avoid some pitfalls and some bumps and some bruises along the way. So with that, I'm going to share with you today. I don't have an answer. I haven't figured it all out, and I struggle with this thing. I'm up in it. Sometimes I'm really good, and sometimes I'm really bad, but I just want to share with you some real things that you're going to experience if you haven't already, or you may really be thick in the midst of it now. But that is really common for people who are overcoming disease, illness, right, in their life, sickness. So here it is. You ready? You guys, there's a lot of frustration, and there's a lot of things that we don't understand, and we don't really know how to compartmentalize it within ourselves. We don't know how to really reason it out, and it makes it hard for us to settle it within ourselves, right? Not just the whys of things that we're going through, but the frustration. The desire to want to come out, the disappointments that you experience, the hurts that you can experience, the frustrations of trying to break out and break through of things that are trying to bind you and to hold you down, the things that you go through with the medical doctors, the medicines that you have to take, or the herbal supplements, or whatever it is that you're doing. Just all the things that you go through, the frustration of dealing with people, things people say. There's a lot of things that come with this, and oftentimes we don't really know how to rationalize it within our mind so that it makes sense, so that we can either control it, know what to do about it, or just to be able to settle it within ourselves. And that frustration is going to be there. There'll be times where you think you kind of got it pushed back a little bit or settled a little bit, and then there's other times where you can't push it down. Those emotions are real. Those feelings are real, you guys. And if you have figured out how to deal with all of that and settle that self, please share it with me, because I could use it. I really want to know how to do that. But what I have found is this. I found that those things are going to be there. And sometimes, some things, when I was a little girl, I'm going to tell you how my grandmother and my mom and all the older generation would say it when I was a little girl. They would say it bees that way sometimes, child, right? Sometimes things are just what it is. And that helps me to get through a lot. It is what it is. And what it is, I just got to deal with it and make the most and the best of it. And that's hard. It's not an easy thing, and that's a conscious decision I make every day, all day, every night, all night. It is what it is, and I got to make the best out of what I got. You know, it gets really frustrating. You know, sometimes you have to make it through, and you have to keep doing all the things that you can to get better, to overcome, to keep going, to get victory in your fight. And when you're doing that, you have to have a strong desire within you. You have to have a strong yearning for it in order to be able to have the brute force that you need to keep going, that perseverance, that endurance, that tenacity, right? But that strong yearning and that strong feeling could be weighty. It could be very hurtful because you want it. And the disappointment, it didn't come when you thought it should come. It's not here yet. I'm frustrated. It's going to be my future. The things that you're trying to get to, and it seems like you're accomplishing things, you're getting things, but you're still far away from where you want to go. Guys, that thing hurts. And it is so hard. How do you keep wanting, right, and desiring without the hurt of the disappointment of it? How do you keep believing, right, without the disappointment, without allowing the disappointment to stop you from believing that? And those are things that are conscious decisions that we have to make all the time, to keep believing, to keep trying. But how do you settle those emotions within yourself? One thing I do know that helps is to keep looking forward. When I'm constantly looking forward, right, I can kind of settle those emotions a lot better than when I'm looking at it, right, like where I'm at right now or where I was, and make it, when I'm concentrating on where I am now or where I came from, it's harder for me to look forward, and those emotions are bigger in me. That self-pity sometimes can come, that woe is me can come, that frustration, that discouragement, despair can oftentimes come. So for me, it's better for me to keep saying, you know what, there's been many times, here, let me give you an example of this. There's been many times when I had to the few times I had to learn how to walk again. There were times, you guys, where I blew up to like over 300 pounds. I've been through a lot and trying to have to regain and redo things. And a lot of times, here's what I would have to tell myself, right? It looks that way right now, but I'm not going to look at that right now. I'm going to do what I need to do to change it, right? So I start looking ahead. Ooh, wait till this get off, right? It ain't staying that way. But if I look at me right now, it's too much. So I have to deal with what I'm going through. Look at it in a sense so that I can manage what I need to manage with at the time. I hope this is making sense to you. But I'm constantly telling myself, right? You know, I can't do this now. Oh, this is frustrating. Nobody's home. I need to get to the bathroom. I can't get to the bathroom. How am I going to do all of this? And I'm going through all those things, and I have to stop myself and tell myself, you know what? I'm getting to this bathroom right now, right? But it ain't going to be this way all the time. I'm doing my leg lifts. I'm doing my stretches. I'm doing this. And I have to concentrate on what I'm doing to get out of it to help me to suppress those negative feelings. Does that make sense to you? I hope you can understand that and that you can relate to that in some way. But that's what I have to do with myself. But does it mean I don't feel them feelings? No, yeah, I feel them feelings. I get frustrated with stuff sometimes. You know, there's some things that I want to do that, you know, I can do it, but it ain't in my best interest, so I don't do it. But it don't mean that I don't want to do it. And the frustration of wanting to do it sometimes is there. The frustrations of you know, having to cut a trip short, you know, with your family because my body can't go no more. Or to have a day out with the family and we have to choose what we can do. How much walking is involved with that? How hot is it going to be? What's the weather going to be like? You know, what is the food like? How far will I be away from this? Or we're out and we're having a great time, but then I can only hang for so long. And just when everybody's like, yeah, let's go do this, it's like I can't hang no more. That stuff frustrates me and it irritates me. But if I concentrate on those things, you guys, oh gosh, it'll overwhelm me and it'll take me out. So what I have to try to do, and it's a conscious decision, and it's not always easy, and I'm good at it sometimes, and sometimes I'm not, okay? So I have to tell myself, right? But I'm doing the things that I need to do. So next time, I'm going to stay out longer. Next time, I'm going to go a lot farther. Yeah, we do a lot of things, and we augment a lot of things so that it fits me to what I can do, right? And what our family's able to do. But sometimes I don't want to limit my family like that. So you're going to always have frustrations. You know, there'll be times where you're not frustrated, life is good, you got everything, but the frustrations is kind of sitting right here on the backside. It's not like it ever leaves. Does that make sense? There's still stuff going on. Sometimes it's back here. You got it going on up here, and you can push it back a little bit. But there's always, those things back there are always trying to push their way to the forefront. So I just wanted to share that with you to let you know that you are going to have frustrations. Will they all ever go away? I don't think so. I think we all have frustrations in life, whether you're going through health things or not going through health things. This is the lot that I've been given, right? This is how I have to look at it, and I've got to make the best of it. I hope something in there was helpful for you. If nothing else, just to let you know you're not alone. But remember, in all things, do you. Until next week. Bye.